Raw took place tonight in Columbus, Ohio. Unfortunately, we did not get to see the hometown girl Alexa Bliss tonight as she's on SmackDown. I thought she might make an appearance, but no. I also wanted to mention before I get into this review, WWE has mentioned this guy so many times on their show because he's a star NBA player and he's a big wrestling fan, and I think he even has a character in the video game that's playable. That's Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers. Just thought I'd mention this. He tore his Achilles last night in Game 7 against Oklahoma City. His team lost. Oklahoma City won the NBA championship. So, best wishes to Tyrese. Yeah, I'm annoyed how much WWE plays it up, and I'm sick of the celebrities, but he is a big wrestling fan. So, from one wrestling fan to another, get well soon, Tyrese. Now, and congrats to the Thunder, by the way. Now, you had Michael Cole and Corey Graves on commentary. Seth Rollins kicks off the show, and he just cuts this long, drawn-out promo that I just didn't give a shit about. I don't remember anything he said. He came out with Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed, and he just, same shit. So you had Penta and Braun Breaker. It was a good match, as you'd expect. There was a cool Mexican Destroyer spot by Penta that Braun Breaker kicked out of, and Braun won with a spear. After the match, Penta was holding his ribs. Seth threatened Penta to stay out of his way after the match, so he made a threat to him. They recapped Liv Morgan's injury from last week, the separated shoulder, really bad injury for Liv. Hope she gets well soon. Really feel bad for her, especially that she's missing everything now. She misses Evolution, she's going to miss SummerSlam, and she'll be out up until probably the Rumble around that time. AJ Styles was talking to Adam Pearce backstage. The match with Dom Mysterio's off for Night of Champions for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it's not going to happen. Dom's injured, I guess, but I don't really believe it. I don't know. It just feels like they don't want to do the match for some reason. New Day and Grayson Waller walk into Adam Pearce's office. He makes a tag team title match for next week. Don't care about New Day. Hope they lose their belts. They're the worst. Grayson Waller was there. No Austin Theory. I don't even know what's going on with those two. They went to a pre-recorded interview with Michael Cole and Bill Goldberg. And that's when Goldberg started talking about the Bad Blood show in Atlanta. I didn't realize he's 58. I knew he was old, but it didn't make sense. I mean, when he won that belt last time, he was 50, so he's a 58-year-old man. And he says he's going to beat the fuck out of Gunther at Saturday night's main event. There was only highlights. There was a lot more of the interview. I'm sure WWE will probably release it on their YouTube channel or something, but this is all we got right now. Backstage was Judgment Day. They're grieving Liv's injury still from last week. Raquel gets really pissed off at Finn Balor, and she says she's going after Rhea tonight. Jay Cargill came out next. Then we see Bayley warming up backstage. Lyra Valkyria wishes her good luck ahead of her match with Becky Lynch, which was for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And in the background, we saw Becky watching them. There's tensions that they're building between Bayley and Lyra. Clearly, they're setting up a triple threat. Roxanne Perez was out next, and we saw her getting ready for a match with Jade. So we had Jade and Roxanne. This is a Queen of the Ring semifinal match, so a massive size difference that was obvious. Roxanne worked over her knee. That's how they got around it. It's just impossible for me watching this match for Roxanne to not be the babyface in this match. Maybe I'm just a fan of hers too much, but I mean, I'm a bit too impartial, but I'm looking at it as, like, how can she be the face? Or, sorry, how can she be the heel and Jade's the face? It just doesn't make sense, especially because Roxanne's getting the heat. But eventually, Jade pinned Roxanne with Jaded. It was not a bad match. Jade now faces Asuka at the Night of Champions in the Queen of the Ring finals. Asuka then appeared, and she confronted Jade, and they posed in front of the Queen's crown, to set up their match for Night of Champions. Quick note, Raw starts at 6 o'clock p.m. next week in Pittsburgh. I don't know why. I don't get it. I don't know if there's some big event. Is there an event? I mean, all the sports are done. Hockey's done. Basketball's done. Why? I don't know. So we had Gunther heading to the ring next. Backstage, Sheamus confronts Rusev. They're setting up a match in the future. That's obvious. Gunther cut a quick but scathing promo on Bill Goldberg. Really focused on him calling him old and really ripped into him. I thought it was very good. It was quick, but I thought this was a good Gunther promo. He doesn't have a lot of charisma, but I mean, he did do a good job of ripping into Goldberg here. And I think they've done a good job of promoting the match this week. Last week, not as much. I didn't like how random it was, but this week I'm starting to enjoy it more. Jackie Redmond's backstage. She interviews Becky Lynch. Becky barely says anything. Then Jackie goes up to Sami Zayn for an interview. Then you had Karrion Kross appear, and he cuts into Sami Zayn about his failure to defeat Randy Orton on SmackDown last Friday. Sami then sucker punches Kross, and then he says they will wrestle. We just don't know when it is. I think it would make sense for Night of Champions because it's Sami, and then you saw Karrion Kross and Scarlett laughing it off that they trapped him, and now Kross is getting his match with Sami. Next, we go to the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, Becky Lynch against Bayley. So Bayley was wearing the gear that she was supposed to wear at WrestleMania before she was attacked by Becky in storyline. And let's just say this about Becky. She was wearing her old man attire, when she would wear all black. I missed that. She looked great tonight. Can we be honest? Becky looked awesome. She's just very attractive, but wow. I really liked her look tonight. Becky worked on Bayley's arm to start. It's the same one she injured at WrestleMania, the announcers told us. Becky kicked out of Bayley's belly to belly. Becky buried Bayley under a bunch of chairs under the announce booth. She used steel chairs and announce booth chairs. And then Lyra Valkyria comes out. She digs Bayley out, but then Becky begins attacking Lyra. Bayley, however, takes control. She gets a whole bunch of offense in on Becky, and then she's going to finish her off with the top rope elbow drop, but then Lyra jumps in the ring and starts attacking Becky, causing a disqualification. So Bayley gets disqualified because of Lyra, and Becky retains her belt. And Bayley and Lyra are furious. Bayley's so mad at her, and they're clearly teasing a triple threat for Evolution. I think that's where we're headed. Chad Gable is talking to Ivy Nile backstage, and then he walks up to Penta and mocks him for losing to Braun. Penta lays him out with a kick, and then he does that arm drag that he does after. And clearly they're going to do El Grande Americano and Penta soon. Raquel Rodriguez is out. She cuts a promo on Rhea Ripley. This brings Rhea out. She gets a massive pop from the fans. Everyone loves her. They get into a brawl on the outside. Raquel brings out a table. Rhea recovers, and then she's about to hit a riptide on Raquel through a table, but then Roxanne Perez comes in and jumps on Rhea's back. Rhea fights her off, but then as she goes to hit Raquel, she gets caught with a Tejano bomb, and Raquel drives Rhea through the table. It was a cool visual there. Then we go backstage. This is a few minutes after, and Rhea is furious at Adam Pearce in his office. She wants Raquel. He agrees to the match, and we have Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley probably next week. I would assume that's how he made it sound. Could be the Evolution match. I'm not sure what we're doing at Evolution. I don't even know who Io was going to face. Io wasn't even on the show. And I watched most of this on delay, I'm not going to lie. But, I mean, I didn't get to see the segments in between the live show, so I don't know that. I don't know what happened there, but from what I saw, there was no Io Sky here, no Kairi Sane, but we'll see what happens there. They preview Night of Champions, the announcers do. We get our main event, which was the King of the Ring semifinal match, Jey Uso against Cody Rhodes. Jey makes his entrance first through the crowd, then Cody's out, and we get the match. So I still think Jey sucks in the ring, even though this match was actually pretty decent. Jey's just not good in the ring. The fans, I thought, were kind of more into Jey, it seemed like a bit to me. They didn't hate Cody, but it feels like they were more into Jey. They had a good match, even though I didn't think Jey was good. It's kind of weird to say. He's just so not skilled in the ring, even though the match was pretty good. It was an exciting match. There was a spot from the top. I think it was a Cody cutter from the top rope or something was supposed to be. And then Cody just finished off Jey Uso with the Crossroads, pins him, and then Cody Rhodes advances to the finals of the King of the Ring to face Randy Orton at Night of Champions. The winner will go to SummerSlam and most likely face John Cena for the WWE Championship. So that's how Raw ended. After the match, Cody and Jey embraced. They had Jey raise Cody's hand, and Cody raised Jey's hand, so they're still friends. They're not teasing any tension whatsoever, and that's how the show ended, with the baby faces embracing. So Raw tonight I thought was okay. It was an okay show. It was not too hard to watch. A lot of wrestling, a lot of good wrestling. Much more focused on matches than other weeks, but I didn't mind the show this week, and we'll see what happens next. We'll see how everything plays out at Night of Champions, and then after that, there's the Evolution show, the Saturday Night's Main Event show. Then after that, the focus is going to be SummerSlam, the road to SummerSlam, if you will. So we'll see where everything goes. And that was Raw tonight from Columbus, Ohio. I thought it was actually a pretty decent show overall.